Hey everybody, the name's Rigged Up, and I'm going to hit play for Game 2 of GC Busan versus KT at the Kespa Cup. We are in patch 8.24. We already saw KT steal away Game 1 against Busan. Both sides showing some good things, but also some bad things. Clearly, teams just getting used to their new lineups here, trying to maybe mix and match different players and see what they can do and before the main season begins and try and get themselves set up effectively. Because, of course, I mean, KT, they're using Umtai right now, but they have Score sitting in their back pocket. Give a new guy some more time in the stage. I don't know much about Umtai. I'm even assuming that is his name, or the way that you pronounce it. But both sides really just trying to test out and see what they got here. But let's talk about the way the draft is going right now. No bans. No, the Aurelia is taken away. Camille was taken away last game as well. Looking at the bans because I recorded this a few days ago. Because sure enough, when I was sick, my voice got shot again when I was nearly done. So that was very intelligent by me. A Lucian ban away, although KT took that. They did not want that. So I guess there must be a lot of priority onto Lucian. They do not want Rem to get Cassiopeia. Apparently, neither side wants them to get Cassiopeia, get that safety, I suppose, in the lane. Camille still denied. Rise denied once more. So, some success from last game. Lee Sin not banned yet. Might see that in the second rotation. Lee Sin did quite well, or at least Umtai did quite well on Lee Sin in the previous game. But I'm guessing Busan probably doesn't put much favor, or that being the biggest reason as to why that happened. But jungle is still available for KT, so they could opt in for the jungler right now or go for a mid laner. They know that Victor will likely go. Actually, Victor could be flexed towards the top side, and instead they're going to go for Aatrox. And this is a little actually concerning. Oh, okay. I thought I had seen it lock in already. I missed the flashing Korean that I do not understand entirely. Galio instead, so a nice safer pick. I would expect that to go in the mid lane. I think Victor can bully Galio out a little bit. Galio could get flexed to the top, likely to see him mid though, and Victor can go between top or mid, but a nice first pickup by GC Busan, because it gives him that flexibility against whatever KT has. So expecting some jungle bans. We do see Nocturne, Zoe getting taken away. Rem did relatively well on the Zoe. Didn't achieve a great deal of stuff, but they probably want to reduce the ability for GC Busan to flex that Victor around, prevent Rem from having a comfort pick, because it could just be a matter of they're not familiar with what Rem plays. I'm sure they have the research. I want to take that Zoe away. Taking away an assassin, I expect another jungle ban here, potentially the Lee Sin to come in. I'm not sure entirely what Umtai's strengths are, but we see the Kha'Zix disappear. So Lee Sin is still available, so KT could opt for that. Although they're not as easy as a setup this time around with the current composition they have with the lineup. Could always flash taunt with the Galio, but and gonna go with the Lee Sin. So still reverting back to that earlier aggression that we had. And Umtai definitely put the pressure on. He got very strong. He had a lot of kills. I don't think he died a single time in the previous game. And this time, Busan answering potentially with a safer jungler here with Gragas. Last time, Ryan used Kha'Zix and didn't really get anything rolling. He played a very straightforward game, objective-based. Overall, GC Busan playing a pretty straightforward game, playing it safe, close to the chest. They did react well to KT and actually forced KT into some awkward decision making, sort of pushed the envelope. If they saw an opening, they took it. That was sort of in the earlier stages of the game, not so much later on in the team fights. They didn't pull the trigger that fast. They disorganized when team fights began, not sure when to make the calls appropriately. So we have Gragas picked up and followed by a Yasuo, which is really exciting. So that is likely a Victor in the top side, and a Yasuo mid lanes should be pretty fun matchup to see here because I'm not entirely sure how Yasuo plays into the Galio. Galio will have some decent wave clear later on, but Yasuo might be able to put the pressure on early on just enough, and Yasuo going with cleanse, so we'll be able to deal with the taunt just in case. Interesting to see the Aatrox actually go top though, because in my understanding, belief is that Victor actually does a really good job of bullying out Aatrox pretty consistently. So maybe KT was hoping to call the bluff of GC, but I mean they picked Aatrox, so that doesn't make any sense. So KT feeling pretty confident to go with the Aatrox. I mean, Urgot was still available. I think would like to think that would have been a bit better of a opportunity, but maybe because Umtai face rolled so hard on the Lee Sin, they're hoping that Lee Sin will be able to carry him through the earlier parts of that game, reduce the effectiveness of the Rise, reduce the effectiveness of the Yasuo, sort of counterplay that as long as BDD stays safe. I mean, that's the thing, is that it's BDD on Galio. I mean, what am I even saying? Is like I should look at the names before I talk. Of course, they're going to give him Galio, and it's a fantastic pick. I think Rem will probably end up getting pretty beat up, be able to offer a lot of security for his team. Nice bit of follow-up with Lee Sin diving in the back. Same thing with Rakan jumping into the back line, able to follow easily. So a lot of nice engage on their side safety from the Zaya, of course, with the Feather Storm. But on the other side, going for that early lane pressure between the Yasuo and the Victor. A little bit of that scaling into later stages of the game with the Ezreal. Would be nice to see him get a few kills in his back pocket, of course, to make that power curve flow a little bit nicer for them. Tahm Kench will keep him safe, so that should be a pretty safe lane for the most part. Any engages from the Rakan, just Tahm Kench gobble him up, get you out of there. And hopefully, okay, thank goodness, people are blending things right now as well as messing with a pressure cooker, so don't know if that was going to get picked up or not. Thankfully, it's not, it seems. Anyways, back to the game. So GC Busan, they do have a pretty nice engage with the Gragas, followed into the Yasuo, any kind of knockup. That is the only knockup source that they have, but throw a barrel out, pretty easy follow-up with the Yasuo. So they do have a nice combination, and that should come in handy at level 6 pretty convincingly. And we see two starting top side. Victor actually stalling a little bit on the backside to make sure that there is no invade onto Ryan's blue buff. But this might mess with the timer because KT did not opt to put any vision forward down the river. Might mess with where they think and know Gragas is. I sort of missed how long Yasuo stayed around to help him with that camp. Be interested to see what kind of pathing Lee Sin takes here. Going, if he is just going to take that vertical jungle path after he gets the Krugs and shifts on over to the blue buff, or how Gragas is going to approach this and maybe play with the pathing of this. Because Ryan, I credit him with playing that objective focus game. Lee Sin showed up on summer. Ooh, and actually some risky business going on mid lane. Rem already getting quite low, and the Ignite already used by BDD, and Cleanse actually no longer on Rem. He swapped that spell out. Ryan sitting on the side just for some safety, calling the idea that Lee Sin could be heading that way. Gragas, though, playing it calm, and both junglers opting to get the Scuttle Crab, get that extra nice little gold for themselves. But BDD already flexing his muscles against the Yasuo. Yasuo typically has a very strong level 2. He can zip around pretty quickly. Very obnoxious. Galio, though, with the taunt, can just pull him into the minion waves. So decent, nice pick for the Galio. The Yasuo pick does confuse me. It's always spicy and really exciting to see the Yasuo pick. I'm just pretty confused by it. When we see him minion wave trying to get built up by BDD here, try and get rid of those caster minions. Lee Sin trying to find something on the backside. So we see the taunt coming out, flash still available, and Ignite. We see the Q connect, and Lee Sin gonna pick up that kill. BDD gets away. The Ignite used by Rem. That's double summoner spells used by Rem, and a kill. First blood going over to Lee Sin, and that is a bad news. Ryan a little late on the play. They did not protect Yasuo. Rem should have gotten out of there much earlier. So getting that minion wave, taking the taunt, taking 2 turret shots. Lee Sin just coming around on the backside, and it's so smart for them not to just come in a lane but go around the turret to sort of play with the idea of where he could place the wall to try and avoid the Galio. That pincer, you can only throw the Yasuo wall one way, and if you don't get behind it, Lee Sin's just gonna, or any kind of projectile, gonna pop you on the backside. So nice setup by KT, showing some synergy here from Tai and BDD. Gonna be interested to see Tai off of Lee Sin maybe. And already with this first blood going in the back pocket, see how he uses that pressure for later on to the game. And going back to, like, we just didn't see Ryan do much last game, so he's trying to get that vision, try and set something up, but not really forcing the pressure here. And BDD just going to be a complete menace to Rem. I do not see this Yasuo pick going up very effectively. Maybe into level 6 he can get it to happen, but if BDD picks up a stopwatch for himself, avoids the disaster of an ulti, Tai reads the potential for any kind of dive or gank or anything like that, then he's going to show up, and he did that pretty consistently in the first game. We already see BDD and Tai roaming towards the bottom side. Busan's bottom lane out way too far. Rakan going in, gets the knockup. Ezreal eaten up. Going to call that off for now. Know that Busan going to be able to get out of there pretty easily with the Tahm Kench. We see already how annoying Tahm Kench is in this match. It kind of goes without saying how obnoxious Tahm Kench is and how much I think players dislike the champion. Oh, but more action on the bottom side. Ezreal already back in lane after a TP. Snowflower, I think, trying to get an engage rolling for himself, but not a lot of mana for either of those 80 carries right now. Might be handing over a little bit of pressure now over to Busan. Such a safe lane. Moo and Minute might be able to get a little bit of a CS advantage here. They probably shove this in, get some vision on the bottom side of the jungle, keep themselves safe throughout the early stages of this game. And we already see Tahm Kench roaming towards mid, helping out with the vision, try and reduce the pressure on Rem right now. Make sure that he survives. And Tai looking for another gank. Again, we don't see the knockup. Sword forced to flash after Aatrox E connecting. He's going to get out of there, not deal with the problems of that situation. I'm playing very far forward, and KT going to take advantage of this. We see Rakan going in, flashing forward, jumping back. Yasuo going hard, though, but KT going to pick up another kill for themselves. Lee Sin trying to find a little bit more action. But Rem going too hard again. And KT reading that very well. This time, Tai showing up a little bit on the late side, but it was Snowflower helping pick up a kill for himself, dropping the Ignite onto Rem, who's a little over eager on that. Was level 6 to get the knockup. So trying to play in that, they know full well that Ryan is there, not clearing out the vision. Rakan, they're just going to CC Rem down, prevent Ryan from even able to act in any fast enough. I mean, like we saw it happen there so quickly. They went in, Rem moved a little bit far forward, Ryan turned around and started walking out of their way. That's when Snowflower and BDD went in. They knew that Ryan was not going to be able to react fast enough, and we see just this disjoint play from Ryan still. And he's got on the tank, at least they can use him in that way, but I'm waiting to see why Ryan's here. He's doing a fine job. That was perhaps a little too harsh, and we only seen him play one game, but excited to see. Tai very aggressive though with the Lee Sin, BDD trying to find the talent to connect with Rem. Not going to make it happen just yet. Flash is available for BDD coming up soon for Rem, but being level 7 now, have access to ulti. You see AT try and get control of the bottom side. Gonna let Lee Sin pick up the Mountain Drake for themselves. They know that Busan do not want to try and fight, but Ryan pretty aware that some shenanigans likely going on in the Dragon Pit. He may not have still seen him though. Gonna get vision off the Q here. And Ryan might be going for a smite fight. Is Ryan gonna take this on? Minute is here. Tai getting forced off. Looks like we might be getting a team fight here. Gonna get the knockup onto Lee Sin, and Lee Sin's gonna get popped right away. GC Ryan just throwing the ulti out, making it nice, clean, and easy for Rem. And members of KT actually quite low. Bottom lane going to get pushed off here, and a Mountain Drake going over to the likes of GC Busan. So very proactive play, or answer, I should say, from Busan to take the bluff, lack of vision, go over and check that out. Both ultimates available. Don't underestimate the power of Lise or Yasuo's ultimate to deal with that situation. All right, so got a Mountain Drake in GC's pocket now. Minion or farm wise, a little bit in favor of, I mean, more specifically on the bottom side. Back when, oh, Lee Sin going in yet again. We see Rem, he's getting pretty low, but actually might be able to get there out of it just barely. Minutes heading over to the bottom lane. Minute trying to go pretty aggressive here and makes even something more happen here. But Minute dropping the ulti in there just in time, giving Rem the chance to escape. Sort of the first flub from KT, not really a flub, just not able to get the kill there to secured for themselves. As far as the bottom lane goes, this is actually playing into Busan's favor now. We're able to gradually continue and scale up safely. KT trying to make things happen, so we see sort of a tempo shift gradually occurring here, maybe in favor of Busan. We don't see an advantage by Victor yet. That is my main concern. Soar, not much going on in the top side. You would like to see Soar sort of bullying out Kingpin, but it looks like Kingin, not Kingpin, actually getting the advantage. Does not have access to flash. Untai is here. The Q does connect. See a lot of damage coming out of Soar, and he's going to fall very easily. You're going to see a decent minion wave form on the top side here. TP not available to Soar. Might just get there by the time he spawns. I don't think he will be able to get back just in time, not prevent the turret from coming down. Both ultimates available to Ryan and Rem. Ryan just floating around, seeing if BDD sort of moves up a little too far forward. See that over again. Sword doing the best he can, trying to avoid the damage, but Untai gonna have that Q connect. Gonna end. Continue to exert a massive amount of pressure on Untai, and Busan not doing a very good job of keeping Untai in check, making sure that they know where he is at all times. Not a lot of pings. We see finally a ping coming out. We see the vision that they know. They have Lee Sin. What's going on? BDD, are you going to come over and get that blue buff? This is getting a little risky. All right, a little bit of a intersection there. Pulling the blue buff, making BDD walk a little bit farther than it would have to normally. I mean, that's what you want to do for handing over a blue buff over to your mid laner. You don't want to be sitting there taking a ton of damage. Like, come on, get over here, man. But blue buff for BDD, and Sor getting very low once more. Trying to get out a little bit of damage for himself. But now we see Snowflake returning to the mid lane. Untai on the backside going to be clearing out vision in the river. So they should have seen. I think that ward just died in time, so they should know that Snowflake is there. See ping from Ryan. Going to try and get on the backside. Make sure that BDD... Okay, so Ryan does know that BDD is heading towards top side. And we're seeing pings onto the Aatrox. They should have just seen Ryan there. Untai getting a little bit close there. Nothing happened. Both teams seeing each other. Continue to play safe. We see both 80 carries on the bottom side on their own. Move does have teleport, so it might try and make something happen here. And it does not want Rem getting into any more trouble here. Has already handed over 2 kills. Gobble him up, pull him and onto the backside. Farm advantage still in favor of Moo as he continues to stack up that tier as of Iceborne Gauntlet, so will help him kite out some fights. I do like Iceborne Gauntlet a lot more. I know that is the typical build on the pro play versus a Trinity Force that'll help him out pretty consistently with the kiting. I know a lot of people enjoy the damage of Trinity Force, but you're going to be able to get a lot more damage if you survive and can kite out somebody. As far as kiting out, that's going to be very necessary, it looks like, as we see 4 members of KT moving towards the bottom side, but they are found. A control ward place snuffs that engagement. And KT really trying to be proactive, try and force down a turret here, force down an objective, gain control of an area. But GC Busan being a little bit more aware of their situation. And we might actually have a repeat situation here. Umtai going for the dragon again, but they do not have complete control of the bottom side. Oh, no, yes, they do have it. They have the minion waves are resetting. Israel going to try and get it with the True Shot Barrage. JC Busan, I think they could have tried to force an engagement there, but it was just a Cloud Drake. They already have the Mountain Drake for themselves. Don't want to risk too much there. They are fine with scaling. They need to keep scaling. Maybe they would have been able to get a pick with the Gragas ulti comboed with the Yasuo ultimate, but they can continue to scale for themselves and be a-okay. Victor continuing to get building a lot up here. Fancy feat though, dodging a little bit of skill shots there. Does not have Iceborne Gauntlet completed. We see a lot of damage though coming out of Kingpin. Kingen dropping out the damage. Ryan moving in though. Umtai is here as well. Ultimate got to be resetting and bring Kingen alive once more, but actually got very low there. BDD showing up on the backside. Oh, and getting kicked back. Sor gonna surely fall here. Is gonna try and do his best to get out of here and take Kingen down with him, but I don't think that's gonna be happening. Here, the shield just keeping him just alive, trying to go for the bush and doesn't make it happen. Unfortunately, Sor falling once more. Kill going over in favor of KT. In control, True Shot Barrage coming out, and just nice shout out by the team to walk over a little bit more and get out of that bad situation. So what happened here? A kick coming out. That was really bad by Sor. Should have realized that when he came out into the open. Umtai should have... I mean, he already shown that he was tearing it up on Yasuo. I mean, on Lee Sin already. Probably should have thought that he could probably do an insect pretty easily. We see BDD going in again, getting the taunt onto Yasuo. Yasuo getting so low. Gonna keep walking forward. Gonna call it off, though. Maybe a little disorganized there. BDD was tanking the turret shots. I think Umtai could have gone for it. With Ryan showing up, maybe it was the right call to play it safe, make sure that they don't flub or hand anything over. Yasuo did have ultimate, so if Ryan showed up, maybe a bad situation. So AT still exerting a lot of their pressure. And has a little... Actually, does not have the gold lead. Actually down 2k. Turrets not down on either side, and the farm advantage, I suppose, in favor of Ezreal right now. And this advantage that they've crafted for themselves in the bottom lane is actually going to let them get that bottom lane turret, and this goes all the way back. Kingen going pretty hard onto Sor, might be going a little bit harder. Ultimate not available for Kingen, so going to call it off, but that's going to force Sor back and give Aatrox a little bit more pressure. Sor does have TP, so I don't think he's going to be able to get the turret just yet for himself. They do know that Sor is getting this blue buff for himself, though, and we see members of KT moving on over to get that turret. This actually turret is going to go over to Kingen, and because Sor was so low, he is going to be basing, and that's going to give Umtai the perfect chance to get Rift-Herald as he is doing so. So KT finally answering, getting some gold for themselves from the turret. Not the first turret blood gold, but at least they'll be able to get Rift-Herald and maybe be able to use it a little bit more effectively than they had the last game. Their first game, I think that was a misclick by somebody. Maybe trying to sweep something out or drop a ward. Ended up sort of wasting it on the first tier turret. But we see 80 carries shifting towards the mid lane turret for that extra safety so they continue to farm. And Ezreal almost up 25 CS over Xayah here. Building up a nice gold lead. Should be seeing that tier fully stacked here pretty shortly. You'll see another tier most likely coming out. But this advantage that Ezreal has gained for himself really goes back to that earlier teleport. Back when Ganjo and Snowflower, they engaged after Ezreal returned to lane again. CS was pretty close at that point, but then they handed over a lot of power to the lane, and Ryan really trying to find something here. Nice storm, feather storm there by Ganjo to avoid the disaster of that Gragas ulti and any possible follow-up by the Yasuo, Ezreal, and Tahm Kench. But does not have access to that ulti, and that ultimate should not be up in time for the Infernal Drake that is spawning in the next 30 seconds. Two very important ultimates, though. But I mean, it's going to be easy enough for Gragas to still get a knockup, getting just a flash body slam, and that'll bring Yasuo right into the fight. Victor and Aatrox still have their teleports, so we'll be able to join in those fights. But with the Rift Herald mid, this is a nice play by KT. They're going to finish this turret off with Rift Herald. And just barely pick that off. And then GC Busan's going to have to deal with the threat. Oh, actually, they're going to take out the Rift Herald right now. But we do see the members of KT slipping on over to Dragon, making sure that they have vision control. And they do have a lot more power for themselves item-wise. I think right now, Busan does have the gold advantage, but I think the team fight advantage and just overall damage threshold power belongs to KT. They don't want to deal with... Ooh, it would have been a nice true shot barrage, a little bit, maybe off by 3-4 seconds there. But with the Lee Sin 2-1, can take out probably any target on GC Busan's side almost immediately. Another nice play for GC Busan to just stay back, continue to scale, try and get the gold in for themselves, make a team fight happen, pick off one target with the Gragas, offset that fight, 4v5 situation. Victor with his AoE, true shot barrage. I mean, Ezreal just popping out any kind of amount of damage. Rem trying to play it smart, gonna get caught by Kingen though. He's gonna have to get out of here because Rem is quite strong, does get the knockup, ultimate followed in. Gragas is here, and actually Yasuo gonna clean off Aatrox. Aatrox not able even to knock his ulti out, and that is underestimating Yasuo there majorly. Should have popped your ultimate much earlier on in that engagement there. Sort of felt that incoming threat of Yasuo making things happen. Should have dropped the ultimate, the knockup. Just going to get CC'd down. Yasuo going to take you out with that true damage coming through with his ultimate. Just too much to deal with. Pretty poor by Kingen. That just felt like a sort of a noob trap there. But we see an engagement coming here by KT. Tahm Kench keeping Ezreal alive for just now. Going to get taken out, and that's going to be another kill going over to KT as Tahm Kench falls down for himself. And now with a 3v5 situation, we see KT looking towards Baron. Baron just spawning less than a minute ago. I think they're just looking for vision control. I don't know if they're going to pull the trigger on this. It's still a dangerous game to be played here. Ryan going to be on the backside, maybe looking for any kind of steal. It is a 5v3 situation. Busan might be able to get a little bit of damage, and this Baron is going down very slow. Umtai getting very low, and this would be an easy fight for GC Busan to go in, but Gragas is going to get caught out. And now it is KT continuing to force themselves into the driver's seat, but they are not going to be able to get Baron, and they still do not have a gold lead, interestingly enough. Let's see here. Umtai going to kick back Ezreal. Flash forward, kick back. See Rakan jumping in back onto the Tahm Kench. Slow minute down. Minute was forced to flash forward onto the Ezreal, preventing a better escape potential there. So paying attention to the important targets, reduce the survivability of Ezreal and Tahm Kench, because usually it's like Ezreal just jump back over to Tahm Kench flash away, just try and run and survive. But nice stuff. I'm really enjoying No Flower on Rakan, being very aware of the situations of the champions, playing quite nicely into the threats of Tahm Kench and his shenanigans. And a lot of nice engages, being very aware. It could just be the team play going in, but we saw him earlier when Ryan was in the mid lane, sort of thinking about going to help Rem. Nice follow-up by BDD, though, and Snowflower to take out Yasuo. That was, again, much earlier in the game. But Snowflower, whether he's just following orders or what have you, especially, I mean, in that specific situation, looks like he went specifically for Tahm Kench to try and knock him up, slow him down, force any kind of summoner spells out. And right now, we see Snowflower and Umtai sitting on the wing, just waiting for any member of GC Busan to make a mistake, come out a little bit far forward. They just drop all their CC and damage out right away. I still think Umtai has the capability to kill about any target on the side of GC Busan pretty easily. Get a lot of damage out at least. Does have Black Cleaver for himself. The full maxed out item of a jungler. The warrior enchantment, and Skirmisher Saber. A lot of damage from that Lee Sin once more. Doesn't have that perfect KDA again, but still a major threat. Invictor now with the Iceborne Gauntlet. So we've got double Iceborne Gauntlet, so it's going to be a lot of kiting from the side of GC Busan throughout fights. A lot of nice AoE damage, but we see, although Sor has completed that Iceborne Gauntlet, Kingan not really caring too much about what Victor can do, going solely into favor of Aatrox. So I'm going to be very interested to see how team fights play out. There's a lot of AoE damage on both sides. I mean, the Victor and the Galio, the Zaya. Let's see here. I might actually like the team fight of GC Busan just a little bit more. I know it felt like they're going for a stronger lane earlier on, but the way that they're scaling out here, fair enough, both sides actually have a pretty decent side here, but both have team fight engagement. Sorry, trying to brew it up here as we see, although there might be a little bit of action here as the next Mountain Drake is up, and GC Busan seem very interested in this. KT trying to force a fight for themselves, going really hard on a Minute. Minute going to be falling very early on in the game, but Rakan going down himself, so support for support here. GC Busan shifting forward as they know that KT's out of a lot of their hard engage now with Rakan being down. Sor doing what he can to beat up Gango, actually getting a lot of damage out. Umtai getting very low. Taunt onto Victor, though. Victor going to be falling. Kingan on the backside now, trying to go on Mu. We see Gragas flashing onto the backside. Lee Sin going to finish Gragas off. Ezreal falling as well. Only one more member. Rem going in, though. Might be able to pick up a kill. Going to flash away, though, in fear. Umtai on the hunt for Rem. Aatrox following up. He's going to get pulled back here shortly. Zaya going to clean that up, and that was a nice ace. Tom Kench coming in on the backside. The members of KT getting very low already. Sor, this was an overreaching by you majorly, man. Going too close. You had no way to get away from that taunt, and that was obviously a threat from BDD. He still even had flash available. You just walked right up to him, perhaps thinking that you could get the Zaya or another member on the backside. I think Rem might have actually been able to get a kill there if he had gone hard enough. But Minute trying to do what he can, but and slow this down. Sor actually coming in the backside. We see Aatrox coming in as well. The Baron getting very low, but Victor's just going to drop alongside him too. Lee Sin going to finish that off. Oh, that was not Aatrox. I'm sorry. It was Ezreal TPing in. Try and help slow it down. And you cannot no longer cancel teleports, so you can very easily be going into your own death now. Unfortunately. As it seems Victor did. Pretty apparently there. So, gold lead now for KT. I would expect that this match will be closing out here pretty shortly. Unless GC Busan gets a really nice engage. We just don't have the items on GC Busan yet. We don't have a lot of damage coming out from them. Yasuo, only Sterix, Gage, Phantom Dancer. If he can get in another item for himself, he should be able to strike through about any target on their side, but that's still quite a ways away. I'd be interested to see how KT tries to force this. We do see them in a 1-3-1 scenario right now. They've got a lot of turrets still to crack through. They do have the turret and gold lead and kill lead. Oh, clearly, I mean 14-3. But it might be pretty tough to sort of slam through these minion waves. Victor going to do wonders for clearing minions. And we see Gragas trying to get an engage there and make something happen so that they can prevent KT from slowly bleeding themselves out, but that is not happened. They are getting pulled apart here now. I thought it was going to be a little bit more difficult there with the Victor being up, but that does not matter. Busan with the flubbed engage with the Gragas. Going to be able to avoid that, and they're just another 3 turrets in the bag. Still another minute 40 with Baron. Mountain Drake is available on the map. Looks like they're just trying to bleed Busan out. The strength of these minions now with Baron quite strong. We see the members of KT just slowly shifting back from both sides. This should be another easy inhibitor. I'm expecting Busan to try something here. They don't have Gragas ultimate available though. Slowly chipping KT away. Actually, KT might be calling it off here. They did take a little bit of damage. They want to make sure that Gango does not fall here. Sor, though, moving up too far again. Sorry, you continue to just move up too far here, man. Getting smacked down. We continue to see KT slowly bleed them out. Ultimate's almost available. Greg's ultimate almost there, so I would expect them to make an engage here. Once that's up, Yasuo probably shifting over there. We see them forming up here. Going to be handing over that inhibitor. We have another inhibitor that Kingan's trying to crack through. And Sor going to get beaten up again. He just cannot deal with Kingan. We did not see this Victor pick come out at all. And we see another turret. Busan has to try and make something happen here. They're going to lose another turret. They're going to lose another inhibitor. That's 2 inhibitors down already. Another 20 seconds on Baron. They'll at least crack this turret open. Oh, actually, oh, just barely. They're waiting for the next minion wave to come through. There's a minion wave. I mean, it's just one more hit or two. Teleport coming in. It looks like KT may be trying to just end this game. I would expect them to get this inhibitor and then finally get out. Baron is almost timed out. Rem trying to get something going on here. Kingan going very hard in. We see the ultimate coming out. Greg is falling on the backside already. Yasuo trying to do what he can. Not much happening though. BDD going on the backside, taunting up quite a few targets. Yasuo's dead. Gragas is dead. Victor is dead. The bottom lane of Busan are the only members remaining. There's just nothing going here. KT picking up every turret here on the side of Busan. KT looking to end this game out. Quick 2-0 series for themselves. And Busan just always on the back foot. It felt like, I mean, they had the gold lead there, but it just never felt like the game was in their control. Umtai did wonders for keeping the game in their favor. Ooh, man, oh man. So credit for KT for closing that out. I mean, played calm. I mean, they always played like they're in control. And Busan, I think there's a lot of, I mean, lack of a better word, potential there, but they just, it's clear, very not a lot going on there right now. There wasn't a single player that like really wowed me. There was no one that really pushed the envelope versus on the other side Umtai, who was making aggressive proactive plays. All those players just barely made it through. They were on a very basic level of making decisions and sort of just not really up to snuff yet. They definitely need time, and be interested to see how that team plays out, how each of those members play out. But there's plenty of time, a little bit of time before the LCK season starts. But anyways, thank you for listening. Team fights, of course, can always work on that, get better. If I did this right when I got home from work, I would be maybe awake. But either way, I'll keep working on it. Thank you for listening, though. Give me your criticisms and such. And until next time, bye.